Hello, Tom.
Hello, Tim.
How nice of you to show up.
Well,
Can I get you something? Maybe a watch.
no, I'm good, thanks.
One of my pet peeves are people who are late. Now, granted, you and I've done this a lot. You're usually on time.
Yes, I try to
So when people who are normally punctual don't get there on time, people like me tend to worry.
be. Oh, so I should have called.
So that would have been a nice, decent thing to do because I was somewhat concerned, not for your safety, but just because I was sitting here waiting for you.
No, okay.
Drinking this. I've gotten hooked on this hazelnut cappuccino for the Keurig.
It's good.
Holy moly.
Hazelnut's my favorite.
Man, this is the opioid of coffees.
There you go.
So, what's happening with you?
Just hanging out, man.
Yeah?
I had a really interesting experience since the last time we talked. Thought maybe we'd get together and chat about it.
Well, proceed on, McDuff.
Since both of us like to carry on and discuss things,
Do we?
may I even say debate things?
Ah, debate. Did you say debate?
I did.
Debate.
Oh, well, that was no debate.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on the debate?
Did you ever see the movie Billy Madison?
Yeah.
With
Adam Sandler?
I
Think so, yeah.
He's doing this academic decathlon,
Yeah.
and the principal asks him a question. He gives an answer, and he says, everybody in the room is dumber for having listened to them. That's kind of that was the first thought that I had.
Yeah, it was very intriguing. Do you think it was Trump's strategy to, I don't want to say bully, but to really, was he trying to unnerve
Yeah, I think
Joe?
so.
You think so?
And I think it worked.
I think he unnerved a lot of people.
Yeah. So there are people that are firmly ensconced. It's my 25-cent word of the day.
That's good.
Firmly ensconced on each side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
They're already
Very fervent.
Yeah, they know
That's
who
my
they're
word.
voting for. They're not changing.
Right.
Didn't matter. Then you got the people that won't vote. So you got this pretty small slice of people in the middle that are actually trying to decide what to do.
Yeah. Do you think any decision was made after that debate?
Not based on policy.
Yeah. W.C. Fields said, I never vote for anyone. I always vote against.
Well,
Is that where we are in this lovely country?
This time and last time.
Are we voting lesser of two evils? Because that is kind of sad, right?
Well, it is, but for many, that's just where we are. It is. I don't like this guy, and I like this guy even less. So I vote.
So I'm going to vote for the lesser of two, or I'm not going to vote at all. I'm hearing a lot of people.
I'm hearing quite a bit of that.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. Is it going to do any good?
Well, no, because somebody's going to win. Now, not right away.
Yeah.
We already know, state of Michigan, there's a judge in Michigan that's ruled that they have to count ballots. They have to count ballots for up to 14 days after Election Day.
Well, people in Michigan are slow.
Well,
I live there, I know. I have relatives there. I can say that.
Wow, that explains a lot.
It really does.
If
Yeah.
Michigan's in play at all, then we're not going to know for 2 weeks.
But let's talk about this because, and I think you hit the nail on the head, people who already know who they're going to vote for,
Right.
these debates really don't matter.
No.
It's kind of a moot
They're for
point.
show.
It's for entertainment purposes only. That should be the disclaimer that every one of these debates should have started with.
Yeah.
It's like wrestling. It's not real.
That's why Joe Rogan should be the moderator.
I think that would be great.
I do too.
My thing is every debate would be better with knives and handguns involved. But anyway, the people who are fervently Trump
Right.
and those that are, I don't want to say they're fervently Biden. I just think they're anti-Trump and they've got to have someone
Right.
to cling to.
Right. I think that's
You know?
100% correct. I don't even think Biden is fervently Biden. Because
Yeah.
his campaign slogan is an anti-Trump slogan.
Yeah. I'm not as bad as the other guy.
Yeah, like rebuild better.
Yeah.
Well,
Make America more
it's
better.
not about
again.
him. It's about So
Yeah.
it's
So as a business person,
that's
do you
the scary
think
part.
we are screwed either way?
Uh,
Not only do we have these bozos run, we've got the virus out there that's now come into play.
Yeah, so we have cold and flu and allergy season coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems reasonable that we get a resurgence of the corona. We've got the whole Congress, well, all of the House being up for re-election.
Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting time. To me, it almost sounds like one of those movies where all of these dominoes were put into place. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We're here after the apocalypse. Here's how we got through
right.
you know what I mean? This happened, this happened, this happened, then this. Then a virus.
It's almost like we can hear this clicking noise somewhere. I'm like,
Jesus loading the shotgun's what that is, man.
It's the dominoes falling
seriously,
over the horizon.
Yeah. But you look at this, everybody is so upset about the protocol or the breach of protocol for the debate.
Well, they were both guilty of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I do believe it was Trump's strategy to be aggressive and try.
Giuliani said it was.
Yeah. Try to get Uncle Joe flustered.
Yeah.
And it worked. I mean,
would you just shut up, man?
If you just shut up, man.
I don't blame him.
He called him a clown once. I think a lot of people missed that.
Yeah. Biden called Trump a clown?
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
If this clown over here,
foot and shoe, yeah.
So I think that was Trump's strategy. If you and I can see that, I don't know how Biden could have gone into that unprepared.
Do you think he really expected Trump to follow protocols?
No.
I mean, surely not, right? Don't you think his advisors were going, look, Joe, this guy's going to be aggressive. He's going to interrupt you. He's going to talk over you. Surely Joe didn't go, well, that's just not the way it's done. Richard Nixon's rolling over in his grave right now.
Nixon, who lost a debate, the
sweating
first
his ass
televised
off.
debate.
Yeah.
There was one really good line that came out of it, I thought. And whether you agree with it or not, it still was a pretty good line.
Which was?
When Joe was talking about how long he had been in the Senate, all of his experience.
Yeah.
And he said, Trump, what have you done? He's like, Joe, you've been in Congress for 47 years. I've been in office for 47 months. I've done more than you have. That's a pretty good line.
Let's talk about Trump's tax return because, as you and I know, as entrepreneurs, it is our goal to not make money on paper.
Correct.
Every year, my goal as a business person is to show that I made no money. Because it all went to the business, it all went to expenses, and that's completely legal, and the IRS writes the rules, and you just write off everything you can write off so you don't show income that you have to pay tax on.
Correct.
That is drilled in our heads from Entrepreneur 101 to the day we die.
Right.
Now, Trump is actually very good at that.
He's awesome at that.
Okay? He does show a lot of losses. He has a lot of write-offs. So as an entrepreneur, when I see, Trump only paid $750 in taxes, I'm like, well, can't he get a good accountant?
Right.
Why does he pay
your tax guy?
Yeah, but a lot of people are focusing on that, and I don't know if they just don't realize how it works or what. What do you think?
Well, a lot of people don't understand how the system works.
Right.
And you and I both know we've taught classes to this effect. We've spoken to this effect that business is a tool to build the life and lifestyle that you want.
Correct.
Right? And one of the things that makes that happen is, and you can call them loopholes if you want, but the
IRS writes the rules.
Everybody can go to the website and read the rules.
Right.
Everybody's welcome to do the same thing.
Right.
It's just most people don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they look at their tax return and they look at his tax return, they're offended.
Yeah.
Like, well, hey,
I mean, would it have
been
better if he had shown lots of income that he didn't pay taxes on? Well, then they would say, well, he's out of touch because he's a billionaire. And here's the thing. I'm not for either one of these jokers.
Right.
I mean, I honestly am that guy who's going, I don't want to vote for either one of them. So don't drop comments in there saying that I'm bashing Trump or Biden. I'm bashing everybody.
Yeah.
Because I find it really hard to believe that we are where we are.
Everybody has toes worthy of being stepped on at this point. I do think that I don't know. If you're right, if he had shown tremendous income, then they would have criticized him for that.
Right.
If he shows no income, then he gets criticized for that.
Well, he really can't win for losing.
Right.
Either way.
So just don't play.
Yeah.
And that's what he has tried to do all along in not sharing his tax returns. And everybody says, well, clearly he's got something to hide.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing, though. He clearly has something to hide. I mean, come on.
Well, he doesn't want average Joe taxpayer to see that he paid $750.
Correct. Well, Trump has actually, before he got into office, actually sued because someone said he wasn't a billionaire.
Right.
Okay, I've got more money. I'm going to sue you. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure. I mean, I wouldn't. One of the reasons I've never even thought about running for political office is I got more skeletons in my closet than Mayfair Cemetery. Especially when it comes to taxes and, but for someone like him who builds himself up to be this brilliant businessman, well, then it's shown that, well, he really is, he's this incredibly in debt, which is really not a bad debt load for the arena that he plays in.
No.
So I don't think he wanted his taxes revealed, because showing a loss, does that make him less of a stellar businessman? You can spin this a lot of different ways.
He has a pretty big ego.
You think?
Bigger than his hair.
You think?
Right? Not as big as yours, but
I got some hair, I got to tell you.
So maybe that's it, right? Maybe he doesn't want people. He would actually feel more successful if he had $1 billion on the income line.
Sure, yeah. But his accountants wouldn't. I mean,
right.
It's like with my business. All right, we're an LLC.
Right.
So whatever revenue comes into the company that we can't spend somewhere on rent or car payments or any expenses.
Billboards.
Whatever, billboards. Have you seen my big giant head billboards?
Hard to miss.
I'm going to get one that's got a waving hand. One of the reasons why I took those billboards, because I need to do something with this revenue. Because what happens with us is at the end of the year, any of that money that came into the company that we have not spent somewhere goes right to my bottom line as income.
And then you get to write a
and
check.
Uncle Sam wants half of it.
Right.
You're talking to a guy who wrote Uncle Sam an $85,000 check one year.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it wasn't recently.
Yeah.
It was back in the... But that's the hardest check you'll ever write. So my goal every year is to keep this business going, to keep this business profitable, and to spend as much of this money as I can, because, at the end of the day, I make a nice living. I want to make a nice living, but Uncle Sam's going to take half of whatever I get. And when you're in Trump's level,
right,
the goal of his accountants is to zero sum him every year. So the fact that he paid $750, somebody missed something. He's probably really pissed.
That's like 2 rounds of golf at one of the courses.
Yeah.
I mean,
can't you guys write that off?
Right. You couldn't find a way to do that.
Yeah.
Let's go out and play real quick.
So the point that I'm trying to make is he didn't do anything that every other entrepreneur. You look at Warren Buffett. You look at any of these guys that play on that field. That's how they do it.
So Robert Kiyosaki, the rich dad poor
dad, who I
dad,
guarantee didn't pay any income tax last year.
No. One of his famous lines is own nothing, control everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So let have the companies own everything.
Right.
And you just enjoy the benefits of controlling everything.
Yeah.
Right? It's a tool. It's like any other tool. And I think that the biggest problem is that too few people understand how to use the tools.
Yeah.
If more people understood it, they would look at that and go, right on, man.
Yeah.
And then you got to look at these people and say, oh, all taxation is theft. It's the government's. Well, here's a guy who minimized the taxes that he had to pay. Right. You should be celebrating that. But,
it doesn't work that way.
No.
I mean, Trump and Biden are both in it. They're in a can't win situation because regardless, I mean, there could be. Joe Biden could be driving along the road and see a lake, and in the middle of that lake, there's a drowning puppy.
Yeah.
All right. So if Joe jumps out of his car and dives in that lake and saves the puppy, you know, one side's going to cheer him for saving the puppy, and the other one's going to, you know, degrade him for jumping in with his clothes on or something. You know, you really, you can't win.
No.
You know, sure, you saved the puppy, but, you know, you were driving a car with emissions. You know what I mean? Your carbon footprint.
You know how much carbon
you know, if you let that, you know, it's silly. It's just silly. But it really shocks me is how rabid, and we'll get comments on this because we normally don't talk a lot of political, how rabid people are on Facebook, in public. Back in the good old days of the internet, you could be anonymous. Now people are like, screw that. I'm going to go on Facebook and just blast the hell out of whoever.
Yeah.
And you and I both know, as business people, and we talked about this last time, before you jump out there and put your political opinions in front of the world, you might want to think about who your customers are.
Yeah.
But some people don't care.
Well, controversy sells.
It does.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if you can stir a little controversy, you can get a little attention. And as the old saying goes, all press is good press.
I'm all about the attention. How pissed?
Set the billboard.
How pissed do you think Trump is because the press has been calling him obese?
Oh,
have you heard this?
Yeah,
he is old and obese.
I'm huge. I'm the biggest
president
ever.
I don't think he's going to take it that way.
You don't think so?
I do not think he's going to appreciate being called obese.
What do you make of him recovering from the COVID?
So much bounced back quick, didn't he?
Yeah. Was he ever sick? I mean, you know, Boris Johnson in the UK.
Yeah.
Went to the hospital. He was in the hospital it seemed like weeks.
Well, you know, you can test positive and not have symptoms.
Right.
I mean, I know people that did. Then again, I knew people that never tested and they think they had it because they felt like crap for a year.
Yeah.
But you know, again, with it like this thing today, where he's out riding around in the car waving at people, and so Trump supporters are like, wow, he's so strong and he's so resilient. And then you got the other folks who I tend to agree with. He's in a hermetically sealed vehicle with some Secret Service agents, who probably now need to be quarantined for 14 days.
Well, I mean, they're going to be anyway.
I mean, where's the? There's no common sense, Tom.
Well, but
there's none.
Common sense.
None. I've got a great idea. Let's go get in the car and ride around and wave at people.
As my granddad would say, common sense ain't so common.
It is non-existent.
Well,
now, name me one thing that's got common sense as far as this situation goes.
Nothing. There is nothing. Yeah. Nothing.
Where's your mask?
It's in the other room.
You've been coughing a lot.
We're 12 feet apart from
we are. We are.
So, it's just a camera angle.
It's just a weird time. And now we've got. Do you even think there's going to be another debate? Well, if they debate over Zoom, that would be hilarious.
So Joe said today that he would be comfortable doing another debate in person.
If there were rules. Yeah. If when your 2 minutes is up, you sit down.
If the moderator has a kill switch for the, I don't know if you remember this or not, but in the last election where he was running against Hillary, I'm pretty sure she said this, that he was stalking her on stage. Have you heard that?
Oh, he was like walking behind her or something?
Yeah. He wasn't stalking her. He was just staying in the camera shot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not that complicated to figure out.
Well, Mr. Trump, please stay behind your podium.
But I mean, how hilarious would that be if he just kind of eased into the frame?
That debate reminded me of a Saturday Night Live skit, which they ended up doing. Did you see SNL last weekend?
Awesome.
You've got Jim Carrey as Joe Biden, and then you had Alec Baldwin as Trump. And at one point, the lady playing Kamala Harris comes in. She calls her, your Mama Harris or something like that. Now, Joe, just hush. Let me. But that's the scary part. No matter which one wins, whoever's sitting in number 2 is probably going to be our president before the 4 years. Yeah. Seriously, think about it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Trump is old and obese. You know, Joe's got his issues. So I think that what it comes down to is who are you voting for as number 2?
Well, and so we go back to this idea that we're both entrepreneurs, business owners, not. I look at a lot of different facets, but one of the main ones that I look at is who's going to create or support or encourage the best business environment in the country.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a clue?
I would lean toward Trump on
that. Like him or hate him, I mean, the last few years have been really, before the COVID hit, have been gravy years.
Yeah.
I mean, my business is just insane.
Yeah.
So like him or not, stock market was crushing it. And again, people are going to be upset that I say that, but just from my side of the fence,
It's
just what I observe,
right.
Things have really been going great.
The market was doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
There's no measure you can look at that says otherwise.
Right.
It was doing really, really well.
Right.
Regardless of who you want to credit for that, it was going great.
Right.
Then the COVID came along.
Wiped all that out.
That wiped all that out, and now it's slowly coming back. Now, the thing about the market is that it's a terrible indicator of long-term success.
Right.
It's a great indicator of short-term sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if the market's up today, then everybody's in a good mood. If it's down today, then people are in a bad mood.
Right.
And it can respond within the day. But if you look at it over time, right, it's the trend is moving in the right direction. Now, what happens, every time the market and people generally abhor uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this next month is tons of uncertainty. If the election results get extended out through litigation or whatever over the next couple of months, more uncertainty.
Yeah.
Right. And people, the markets, business, we don't like uncertainty.
Yeah.
It doesn't even to that point. It doesn't even really matter who wins, as long as there's some certainty about, okay, this person has won. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right. But this extended period of we just don't know. That's going to be hard.
Well, one of the things that cracks me up is these reporters keep asking Trump, well, if you lose, are you going to accept the result? Is there going to be a peaceful transition of power? What do they expect him to do? Do they really expect he's going to
circle the White House? No, he's going to
stay. I mean, what the hell is he going to do?
Tanks around the White House, any aircraft. I mean, yeah, seriously, what's going to happen?
I mean,
here's the thing.
It's just silly.
And I think I said this last time. No matter who wins, the other side's going to say they cheated.
Something, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Russia got involved.
Right. Yeah. Russia was ballot stuffing, ballot harvesting, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Whoever loses is going to claim that the other side cheated.
Yeah.
And they're going to court. So this election is not going to be won at the ballot box.
No. And I don't think it's going to be won by either popular vote or public sentiment, because it's just ugly right now.
Well,
you either love or hate. There is no middle ground.
Back to Bush and Gore in 2000.
Yeah.
Right?
Is your Chad hanging, by the way?
It was dangling. There's a
Yeah.
dangling Chad.
Dangling Chad. Yeah.
Were a lot of people that just left that decision as just kind of
yeah.
And that's really what kind of got the whole illegitimate presidency.
Well, they've been saying that since
heard anybody
Bush.
say that before.
Yeah.
2000.
Well, yeah. You look at we're at a very different time. I was talking to my wife this morning. We were talking about Trump being in the hospital, Trump being sick, and she made the comment. In the old days we wouldn't even know.
Right.
I mean, FDR was president 8 years, and nobody knew he was in a wheelchair.
Right.
You know what I mean?
12 years.
No, 12 years? Wow.
Yeah, 3 terms. He was elected to a fourth term and died. A couple of days into the fourth term.
Yeah. Well, he'd still be around probably.
So Truman, right? So here's Truman, who's I think his third vice president.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, dude, this is a cake job. This guy's going to be president
forever. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
He died.
Yeah. That was before they put in the term limits. But really quick, this always goes fast. I want to talk a little bit about something that we're going to do
Okay.
We have a plan.
Yeah, let's do that.
We are going to start doing a show called Four Mics.
Four mics.
And it's not like Mike, your name. We're not Mics, right?
Ooh,
but it's
Mike.
Mics, M-I-C-S. And the concept is 4 mics, 4 voices, 4 opinions, one topic. Okay.
Theme.
Yeah. One America.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's not necessarily going to be a political show, but it's just going to be a news of the day, whatever. We're going to have a round table with 4 chairs, 4 mics. You and I are going to take up 2 of those, and we are going to have a random and rotating bunch of people filling the other
Cast
2
of
chairs.
characters.
Cast of characters.
I like to think of it as like a water cooler show.
Yeah.
Right? If you were standing around the water cooler, if they even have those anymore.
They do.
What would you talk about?
Right.
Sometimes, obviously, in this season, there's going to be some politics.
Yeah.
There will obviously be real estate, obviously some business.
Yeah.
But, just
I
whatever's
think
current.
we talk about the topic of the day.
Yeah.
We're probably going to start off doing it once a week. We'll see how it goes. I've ordered a special table.
I'm looking
A
for
round white Formica table.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very Wayfair. But anyway, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to invite folks to, if you want to come in and hang and sit in the chair and talk for 30 minutes to an hour on a particular topic, we will invite you to ping us and we'll talk.
Or if there's someone you would like to see in the hot seat.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be, I anticipate, I'm going to drag Mayor Finley in here. Yeah. Folks like that, we'll have we don't really have any local celebrities, but I also want just people like you and me. I have some pretty smart friends. I'm probably the dumbest guy I know, which is kind of scary. I have imposter faked my life all the way through. But we'll have different guys and gals in here. I think what we'll do is probably we'll just have people, I don't know, DM us, or we'll invite them in. And but anyway, that's gonna the Wayfair table will be here in 2 weeks.
Wow.
It's all hinging on delivery of the round table.
Okay. So we can't do it without the round table.
Well, we could, but then where's the fun in that? Until then, we just do 2 mics in a rectangle.
Okay.
So
we can do that.
I think it's going to be fun. We're just going to completely play it by ear. It's nothing fancy. You never know what we're going to talk about, but I just want those 4 voices giving their thoughts and opinions.
I really think it'll be interesting. One of the things I've done with the radio show is I always set it up this way with the guest. Let's just have a conversation that other people would like to eavesdrop on.
Yeah. Well, it's like that. We never know what we're going to talk about when we sit down here. We just kind of what's on top of your brain, and that's what we ramble on for 30 minutes. I
think the sum total of all of our planning today was, how about the debate?
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good. We're just like a couple of old dogs with a bone. You just throw it out there and we chew the crap out of it. So anyway, it's gonna be a lot of fun. 4 mics is what we're calling it.
Yeah.
So
coming soon to a Facebook near you, where I think we'll start off recording them until we get our feet wet, and then we may end up doing some live stuff. I don't know. Ooh. The live stuff could be interesting because I can actually have people phone in and do all kinds of stuff. Got a dump button over there.
I've got a dump button, brother. You want to see it? So anyway, should be a lot of fun. But hey, this was fun. Yeah. Leave your comments below. Try to be nice.
Otherwise.
Be nice. If you agree or disagree, like I said, I don't think anybody's worth voting for. I'm going to throw that out there, and I'm sure I'll get flack for it. But hey, I can delete and block you as good as anybody.
Dr. Jorgensen.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, that's the Libertarian candidate, Joe Jorgensen.
Shows you how informed I am. Mm-hmm. All right. I'll see you next time.
All right, man.
Bye.
See you.